Sam. And Anam, welcome back. Hi, Akila. Welcome back. You guys can get started on the do now. This is just another question like the ones that we were doing on Tuesday. So hopefully you've got your calculators with you because we can't do trig without our calculators. Hello, Sin and Flanfla. So nice to have you back with us. I was just saying to the others, get started on the do now. It was what we were practicing last time I saw you. So hopefully we can tick that off and say we have those skills. If not, we can practice a bit more. Hi, Kelebochile and Zayan and Nzole. Welcome back. So you guys know what to do. Get started on the do now. This is what we were doing last time we were together. Hi, Nawazi. Thanks for all the hearts, Zayan. That's so nice. Who else? Adewale. Hello. Welcome back. Please get started on the do now. You guys need your calculators, so I hope you've got them with you. Ah, Harrickson. Welcome back, Harrickson. Nice to see you again. Please get started on the do now. Hello, David. Hello, Sihle. Welcome back. So you'll see on the screen now is the questions that we were working on the last time. Hi, Phoebe. So yeah, let's see if we can do those. This is what we were doing last time, where we were using an angle and a side to calculate another side. I want to see how you guys are managing with this. And if we need to do a few more questions on it, then we certainly can. Hey, Jared, welcome back. Oh, that's awesome, Sihle. Thank you. Hi, Nasisa. And Intlafatso, welcome back. Please get started on the do now and see if you can do one question by the time we get started. It was what we were doing last time, where we were using an angle and a side to calculate another side. Okay, and obviously anybody that's watching via the live stream is obviously welcome to try these questions as well, and communicate with us. I think you have to send a message to Alzan, and then she can certainly tell me how it's going for you, if there's thumbs up, thumbs down. So yeah, please use emojis and try and participate as much as you can in this lesson as well. Welcome back, Angela. Okay, so how's it going, grade 10s? Are you managing? Has anybody managed to do the first one? Is there anyone who's managed to do 2? You can either unmute or pop something into the chat for me, please. Okay, almost done, Phoebe. Okay, no problem. Is there anyone who's okay, Harrison? Cool, well done. Is there anybody who feels like they're really struggling and doesn't know where to start? You know that you don't have to be shy. You know that you can speak up and talk to me and say, if you don't understand, I'm here to help you. Cool, David. Nice, well done. Okay, so are you feeling a bit intimidated by these, Norwazi?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. I know doing trig in the beginning is really, really confusing. And the more that you do it and the more time that you spend working on this section, you'll see that your understanding will develop. Okay, so everybody else just carry on, all right? Just in the meantime, see if you can finish DE. Harrison, you're just going to have to hang tight for us for a second. And then Nawazi, let's just see if we can do at least one together and see if that helps you understand it just a little bit better. Okay. Do you remember the last time I said to you that if you want to calculate the length of the side, you've got to make a decision, all right? So you've got to decide which trig ratio you're going to use, okay? So you could use the sine of the angle, in which case we have to work with opposite and or hypotenuse, or you could work with the cos of the angle, so then we have to work with adjacent and hypotenuse, or we could work with the tan of the angle, and then we've got to work with opposite and adjacent. So you have to make a choice. Is it sine, is it cos, or is it the tan of the angle? So go and have a look at FE, I beg your pardon, and what would you describe FE's position in relation to the angle? Is it opposite? Is it adjacent? Or is FE the hypotenuse, Norwazi?
Adjacent.
Perfect. Okay, good. So it is the adjacent side. Now, this side over here that I'm busy drawing a pink block around, what side is that? Opposite, well, either opposite or hypotenuse.
Hypotenuse.
Exactly. Well done. Well done. So it's the hypotenuse. So can you see you've got an A and an H? So which trig ratio do we have to use? The one with the A and the H in it. So which one is that, Nawazi?
Cos.
There we go. There we go. All right, perfect. So that's the hardest part. The hardest part is making the right choice. Once you've done that, the rest of it's easy. Okay, so it's always the cos of the angle equals the length of the adjacent side divided by the hypotenuse. All right, so that's why over here, that's what I've written. The cos of 55 degrees is equal to FE, the adjacent side, divided by the hypotenuse. Does that make sense, Nawazi?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now to get FE on its own, what are you going to do to both sides?
Not sure exactly.
That's okay. All right, so do you remember cross multiplying? Do you remember
Yes,
cross
ma'am.
multiplying? Okay, cross multiplying is one of your best friends in high school maths, okay? Because it helps us to get rid of denominators when we've got a fraction over a fraction equals another fraction over another fraction. So we're going to cross multiply. So we're going to multiply 68 with cos 55 and 1 times FE. Okay, so 1 times FE is FE, and 68 times the cos of 55 is 68 times the cos of 55, just like that. And now we're ready to put that into our calculator. And hopefully everybody that's in our course or watching online has got the same answer that we've got. What did you get, Nolwazi? Did you manage to put it into your calculator?
Yes, I got I got 39.
39. There you go. Me too. Okay. Well done.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So that's what you've always got to go through. You've got to go and look at the angle and ask yourself the side they're asking you to calculate. Well done, Harrison. That's great. How did everybody else do, by the way? Thumbs ups, thumbs downs. Did you also get 39?
I made a mistake, ma'am.
Okay. Sam, where was your mistake?
Okay, so ma'am, instead of saying FE over 68, I said 68 over FE. And then with the cross multiply, I didn't multiply the cos 55 with the 68. Instead, I divided it.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. So there, you know what? You know what's really good though, Sam? What's really good is that you knew to use cos. And that's the hardest part for grade 10s is knowing which one of the three to pick. So at least you picked the right one. Getting the one thing over the other, that is something that we can work on. So what I suggest to you, grade 10s, I don't know if anybody else had the same issue as Sam. Always talk to yourself in your head, or maybe talk to yourself quietly. And then when you say to yourself, I'm going to use the cos of the angle, as you're writing it, you say to yourself, the cos of the angle. So cos 55 is adjacent over hypotenuse. If you write down SOHCAHTOA for you, then you can also help to remember that adjacent's got to be at the top because it comes first, and hypotenuse has got to be at the bottom because it comes second. Okay, and then talk to yourself while you're busy writing these things down. Okay, that helps a little bit. Okay, I don't know if, whoopsie daisy, I don't know if anybody else managed to do, I know Harrison said he'd done all of them, but I mean, I have been talking a bit here. Anybody else managed to work out the length of ED? Okay, so Nzola, you also given us a thumbs up. How's everybody else feeling? Kelebohile, Sinenhlanhla, Daniel, are you okay? Jared, Nasisa, David, you quiet tonight? Was that okay? Did you manage to get 39? Thanks, Jared. Thanks, Nana. Okay. All right, Anna, well done. Okay, good show. Okay, good, I'm glad. All right, so the next one, and then we can get on with what we were doing today. All right, so, okay, Nosisa, that's perfect. All right, who else apart from Harrison manage to do the second one? Was it just Harrison, or did anybody else manage to do the second one as well? No, okay. Nizol, you said, okay, and Angela, you did. Okay, Sin and Tlantla, you did. All right, fine. Okay, the rest of you can follow along with what it is that I'm saying here. And if you still feel that you need more practice with this, we can certainly do that this lesson, even though that wasn't what this lesson was going to be about. It doesn't matter. We need to be flexible. I'd rather do this and make sure that you've got it right than rush on to the next thing. Okay, so this is what I did for DE. Well, actually, instead of me saying what I did for DE, David, let me ask you, all right, in relation to where the angle labeled 55 is sitting, side DE is opposite, adjacent, or hypotenuse?
DE is opposite.
It's opposite, good, okay? And the other thing that we've been given, David, is 68, and that represents the?
Adjacent.
The line that's labeled 68, that's opposite the right angle, is going to be the hypotenuse.
Hypotenuse.
Yes, we have got the adjacent. We've just calculated it as well. So we could use that if we wanted. But you know what, David, in other grade 10s, if you've made a mistake, then what will happen if you use your first answer to calculate the second one, then you're going to carry that mistake through. So if you're not feeling confident just yet, always go back to the original information that they've given you. Okay, so you correctly said ED is opposite. We know that line FD is the hypotenuse. So if we've got opposite and hypotenuse, what trig ratio do we need to use? Indeed, Phoebe. Yep. Good, David. Okay. That's it, Nizoli. Sine. Okay. Sine. Yes. Perfect. Okay. So that's why for this one, like for the other one, I did that. The sine of the angle is opposite over hypotenuse. Does that make sense, everybody? The sine of 55 is DE over 68. Because what we're solving for is in the numerator, we can cross multiply. There isn't a second step involved. So getting DE on its own means we've got DE is equal to 68 times the sine of 55. And then, of course, if we pop that into our calculator, I ended up with 55.70 units. How does everybody else feel about that? Did you get the same answer as me? Yes. Okay, cool. Welcome, Katlego. Oh, you must be exhausted if you only just got back from school. Sihle says yes, Nizola says yes. You forgot the times. No worries. Angela, you said yes. Okay, well done. Great. So now the big question is this. Last time, what I wanted to do is I wanted to show you how calculus could be applied. Calculus, listen to me, I'm talking like I'm talking to the matrix. How trigonometry can be applied in real life. So how we could work out the lengths of like the height of a tree, or we could work out how high an airplane is above the ground or something like that. Do you feel that you want more practice with calculating the lengths of sides? Or is the general consensus that we should move on and work and talk about calculating angles? How do the rest of you feel? Sides or angles? So you can pop it into the chat and then we'll go with the majority. Okay, so Phoebe says sides. Nawazi says angles. Good lecho both. You are a bit outnumbered, Phoebe. Okay, well, I tell you what, shall we do this? All right, because I obviously want to try and make this worthwhile for everybody. Shall we do one more side question, just one, and then we can move on to angles? Okay, and then that way everybody gets what they want. Is that cool? We happy with that? Okay, cool. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up here. Yes, says Nasisa. I'm going to go back up here and I'm going to show you this. All right. So This is how, because so often in school, we end up learning stuff in maths and we think, well, where are we ever going to use this in real life? So here's a really nice example, I think, okay? Obviously, you would need to know the angle, okay? So how we would actually measure that in real life would be a little bit tricky, but let's pretend, okay, that we are standing. So here we are. Let's draw a little stick man with a big smile on his face because he's a happy stick man. Okay, so we're standing over here, all right? And we can see that there is an angle of elevation from the horizontal of 38 degrees, and that will take us in line to the top of the tree. If we are standing 40 meters away from the tree, we can use trigonometry to work out how tall the tree is. Okay, so there's Tom. There he is standing over here, and he wants to measure the height of a tall tree. So he's 40 meters away from the base of the tree, and he somehow measures the angle of elevation to the top of the tree to be 38. Now we want to calculate the height of the tree. My first question is, where is the right angle? Not the 38-degree angle, where is the right angle? Because remember, we're always working
of the
Say
tree.
again? Indeed.
The bark of the tree.
At the foot of the tree, the bark of the tree, 100%, guys. So that over there is your right angle. So the moment we know, yes, quite right, Nana, at the bottom of the tree. So which line, let me call this one X, let me call this one Y, and let's call that one A, right? So that we've got names. So which side is the hypotenuse?
X.
Indeed, X is the hypotenuse. Good. Yes, Intlefat. Yes, Sihle. 100%. Okay. Now I'm going to ask Katlejo, which side is the side that is adjacent to the right, not the right angle, to the 38-degree angle? What have we called that one? Katlejo, can you hear me? Oh, there we go. Sorry, did not give you enough. Sihle said adjacent is 40 meters. Okay, yes, Katlejo, that's right. Yes, Sihle, perfect. Okay, so X is the hypotenuse, A is 40, and the opposite is Y, 100%. All right, so now I'm going to challenge all of you, right, to work out the height of the tree. All right, remember, what we want is the opposite. What we've got is the adjacent. Okay, so that's really important. What we want is the opposite. What we've got is the adjacent. So that's it, perfect. Okay, you've got the right trig ratio. Okay, so let's try this one quickly.
Ma'am, how is it 10?
How's it tan? It's tan because if we go back to soccer. Okay, so Katoa. Okay, so it's tan, Sam, because we want to calculate the opposite, and what we have is the adjacent. So if that's it, Sihle, TOA opposite. It's TOA is opposite over adjacent. Sihle, opposite over adjacent. Yes. So Y is opposite and A is adjacent to the angle that we are working with. Okay, opposite over there, adjacent next to.
So, ma'am, in other words, must you have two unknowns and one known so you can determine what trick you want to use?
That's exactly it, Tatuka, because always in maths, when we are working with formulae, let's pretend if we have three things that are unknown, we have to know two of them to work out the one that we don't. If we've got 4 things that we could possibly calculate in a formula. We need to know 3 of them so we can work out the one that we don't know. Okay, so in this case, you've got 3 potential unknowns, right? So when you work with the tan of the angle, it's the tan of the angle is opposite over adjacent. So here, we know what the angle is. We know that it's 55. We look at the picture and we identify that the tree is essentially the opposite side, right? So we've decided to call it Y. So that's got to go at the top. The adjacent side, the one that's next to our angle, sorry, not 55. I'm sorry, I'm still talking about the previous question. I beg your pardon. That's supposed to be 38. The side that was adjacent to the angle 38, that's the one that we know is 40 meters in length. Okay, so again, we're going to cross multiply. All right, that gets Y on its own. Anybody been able to work out what the value of Y is?
Yes, ma'am.
Cool, Sam, what did you get?
Yes,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
I got 31,25.
That's it. Okay, well done, everybody. Entlifadzone, Zole. Who else has put something on the chat? Bianca. Good job, Daniel. Nice. Okay, so 31,25, which sounds reasonable for a tall tree. Okay. All right, so I just wanted to show you that. Unfortunately, we've always got to be so mindful of our time. We're already nearly half an hour in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to what it was that I wanted to show you today. And let's just talk about that for a little bit. We can always come back to these things at a later stage. So that's not a problem. Let's just go back. Okay. All right. So I put here, it's very important in maths to consider that calculations can always work in the opposite direction, all right? And now that you're in grade 10 and you're going into grade 11 and then you're going to go into grade 12, that becomes more and more important, okay? So remember, we were just having that discussion now to Tuka and everybody else, where when we're working with a basic trig ratio, there's 3 things that we don't know. So there's an angle, and then there are 2 sides. So in these questions over here, what's different is they've given you the 2 sides. Now you have to work backwards and work out what the angle is. Has anybody done that at school yet? Has anybody worked with 2 sides to get an angle? No. Okay, David, no problem. Okay, you have Harrison. All right, that's good. Okay, even if you haven't, it doesn't matter. So again, fine, Nolwazi, not a problem at all. Okay, Phoebe, no worries. That's why we're here. Okay, so we still need to know, so that's fine, Sihle. That's why we've got this course. Hopefully this will help to fill the gaps that are missing. Okay, so we can never, ever, ever forget about Sokotoa. All right, so now let's have a look at this particular scenario over here. And this is, again, it's related to real life. So they are saying that there is a man, this building contractor, and he's standing over here, right? And he is 15 meters away from the base of the building, okay? He's looking up. Okay, so there's his little eyes, and he's looking up to the top of the building over here, and he's looking at the gutter, which I'm now presently coloring in red. Okay, the gutter is 10 meters up on the side of the building. All right, the question is, let's try and work out the angle of elevation from the horizontal to where the gutter is going to be. All right, so now always, we are working from our angle labeled theta. So what have they given us? In relation to theta, what is 10? Opposite? Hypotenuse?
Opposite.
It's opposite, absolutely. Good. In relation to our angle theta, what is 15?
Adjacent.
Adjacent. You guys are amazing, absolutely. So if we've got opposite and we've got adjacent, what trig ratio do we have to use?
10.
There you go, perfect. Okay, we've got to use tan. Right, so TOA, yes, tan, perfect. Okay, so talk to yourself when you're writing this. The tan of the angle is opposite is 10 over adjacent is 15. Okay, so now this is the unknown that we're trying to calculate. Theta is now our unknown. So instead of it being a side, now we're trying to calculate an angle. So now your calculator needs to be told that you are working with an angle. Okay, it doesn't know that. So because it's obviously because it's a thing, right? So everybody get your calculator, turn them on if you haven't already. And when you are calculating angles, yes, we are, Nizola, that's quite right. When calculating angles, we have to use the shift button. Okay, shift tan, quite right, because you've got to tell your calculator that it's working out an angle. Okay, so the way that we do that is that we first have to press the shift button. So you've got your calculator on, you're going to go shift, you're going to pop in tan, and then you need to put in the fraction. So you can press the fraction button, put 10 at the top. Yes, always close your bracket. That's right. Perfect. Okay. Put in your 10 over 15. Don't forget to close the brackets. I'm so glad you remembered that, Claire. And then press equals. And voila. What do we get as an answer?
Sorry, ma'am, please repeat that. I didn't hear that.
No problem, Sam. Okay, so Sam, you've got to tell your calculator that it's working out an angle. Right? Because otherwise, if we don't give the calculator that sort of instruction, it doesn't know. Because in trig, we can either calculate sides, as we have been, or, yeah, I got the same answer, Harrison, or we're going to calculate an angle. So you have to tell your calculator you are working out an angle. So how you do that is that when you do this calculation, you have to use the shift button. Okay, so instead of just pressing tan and then putting something in and closing your bracket and pressing equals, you've got to press shift, then tan, then put in your ratio 10 over 15, close your bracket and press equals. Does that make sense, Sam?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so is everybody getting the same answer as Harrison? I agree, Phoebe. It is indeed. It is indeed. I wonder how the people that are watching via live stream are doing. If you want to give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down, hopefully you got the same answers that we did. Cool. Angela and Nasisa and everybody else. All right. Good stuff. Any questions? No? Sure? Okay. All right, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop talking for a little bit and I'm going to give you an opportunity to practice these. Okay. Oh, good stuff, Cece. All right, so there are two here and you need to calculate the size of theta. All right, so remember, SOHCAHTOA. Okay, so I'm going to write it here for you again, SOHCAHTOA. So you've got to look at the angle, then compare it to the sides you've been given, decide which trig ratio to use, and then write sine cos tan of the angle equals whatever over whatever. Okay, and then go and sub in. So yeah, try triangle PQR, and then we can try triangle HYW, and then we'll see where we go from there. Is there anyone who's really confused? If you're not confused, don't listen to me, just carry on working. Okay, so I'm taking it that everything is okay. All right, I'll be quiet for a couple of minutes then. Cool, Celia, that's rad, that's cool. Try the next one. Good job. You done both of them, Phoebe? Wow. I am super impressed. Oh, I'm sorry, Kelebohile. I wonder what's going on with your network that you're struggling. Okay, there you go, Phoebe. There's another one. How'd you like that? The reward for hard work well done is more work. Isn't that terrible, hey? Yeah, indeed. Okay, so try one more, okay? Kelebohile, can you hear me all right? Do you want me to do the first one with you? Okay, no problem. All right, so everybody else, just carry on with the second and the third one. I know I hope I'm not disturbing you, but I just obviously want to try and do this with Kelebohile, and then we can go through the next two and make sure that we got the answers right. Okay, so Kelebohile, very important, right? Sokotoa, right? So in relation to your angle, so this is the angle we're trying to calculate, all right? This side that has been labeled as M, is it opposite? Is it adjacent to theta? Or is it the hypotenuse? You can pop it into the chat, Kelebohile. Indeed, it's the opposite side. Perfect. And this one that's been labeled as 12, what's that? Can't be opposite. So either it's adjacent or it's hypotenuse. Which one? There we go. All right. So you've got opposite and hypotenuse. So you have to use the what of the angle. What goes with O and H? Okay, David, well done. We're going to get to them now. And hopefully all of you exactly Kelebohile. Perfect. So now you've done all the hard work. All right, so we're going to write what we see, okay? So the sine of the angle, is opposite. In this case, opposite is called M, over hypotenuse, in this case is 12. Okay, so now what are we going to do, Kelebohile? Hang on a second. Oh, I'm sorry. What's wrong with me tonight? I'm fast asleep. It can't be M because we need to know the length of the side. Sorry, it was hiding underneath there. It was 8. There we go. That's better. Can't have two unknowns, can we? All right. So the sine of theta is 8/12. Okay, so now Kelebogile, you've got to tell your calculator. No, I scared myself as well, Phoebe. I was like, how can we have an M and a theta in the same question? That's not possible. See, unfortunately, when you pick up the pen to write on the board, another little panel comes up. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it comes up for me, and then it meant the 8 was hiding. So yes, anyway, quite right. There's no ways that we could do this. All right, so Kelebogile, you're going to pick up your calculator, all right? And you're going to tell your calculator that you're working out the size of an angle, okay, by going shift sine. So you press shift sine, press the fraction button, put the 8 at the top, the 12 at the bottom, close your brackets, and then there's your answer. What did you get, Kelebogile? Did you get an answer, Kelebogile? Jim, I wonder if Kelebogile's network has stopped working again. All right. So anyway, Sihle, you did. Anyway, Kelebogile, I hope you can hear me. But Sihle, you were quite right when you put your answer of that into the chat. That's perfect. Okay. So now I'm going to ask Nosisa. Did you manage to do the middle one, Nosisa?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. So tell us what you got as your answer.
I got 62,40 units.
Okay, degrees. Degrees. Okay, but that's fine. Don't worry. Don't stress about that. Remember, you're calculating an angle. Okay, so Nzole says 62.41 and you said 62.40. So maybe we've just got to be careful about our rounding off there. But Nosisa, you're on the right track and that was really nice. Okay, so hopefully everybody here said we've got adjacent and hypotenuse and you used the cos of the angle. That's right. Okay, so you should have said cos theta is equal to adjacent 220 over 475. Okay, and then just remember to be careful with our rounding. Okay, so if the number sitting in the third place after the decimal comma is 5 and above, then the second one has got to round up. Okay, good job. All right, now let's ask, who have I not heard from this evening? Jared.
Ma'am, sorry.
Yes. No, it's fine. Don't say sorry.
Ma'am, for the cos angle thing, ma'am.
Yes.
How do we get 220 as the numerator?
Okay, no problem. With this one, Sam, it might be a little bit difficult to see. I'm going to see, is there a thing here where I can, I wonder if there's a function here that allows me to, no, that says crop. I wanted to see if I could possibly twist it around, but I don't know if there's anything on this board. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, I can't unfortunately turn it around. I'll have to find out if that's possible. Okay, so remember, Sam, and it's a good question, okay? Your starting point always is to identify the angle that you are working from, okay? So you are going to calculate theta.
Okay.
There's the right angle. So the side opposite the right angle has to be the hypotenuse, So 475 has to be the right angle.
Okay.
Theta, do you see it now? Theta
I
is
see what I did wrong.
adjacent to 220. Okay, opposite would be over there.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Oh, I see. I actually
That's-
mixed. Okay, but it's okay. I see what I did wrong, ma'am.
That's
Sorry.
fine. Okay, well, no, don't say sorry. I'm very glad that you feel you can stop me and ask me. That's what I want you to do. Okay, so now I'm going to pick on somebody else. Who was I busy picking on? Jared. Jared, what did you get for the third question?
I was right there. It was close.
Okay, so Jared says 21,80. What do the rest of you think? $68,20. Okay, all right. So David and Phoebe got the same answer as Jared. Okay, so Celia, Angela got 68,19. Oh, goodness me. 68,20. Okay, so then you would have used the same ratio, you just rounding slightly differently. Okay, so in the third question, I want to know, Phoebe, what ratio did you use? Sine, cos, or tan? You use tan. Okay, Nana used tan. All right. So then Nizole and Nana and Angela, what ratio did you use? Yes, David, tan. Perfect. Okay, so Nizole used tan. Okay, because maybe what you did is you ended up using the wrong ratio. Okay, so tan was the correct ratio to use here. All right, so whoever did that, that was indeed the correct thing to do in this instance. Okay, so again, if this is the angle we are calculating it, next to this angle is 5. Opposite this angle is 2. Okay, so quite right. We should have said tan theta is opposite 2 over adjacent 5, which then means that the size of theta, I'm just going to do it as well. Okay, and like you, I also got 21,80 degrees. Okay, so remember last lesson, or even a little bit at the beginning, maybe that's right, Nizole, that's right. Because what are your calculators set on? Remember, they always need to be set on degrees. Remember, we were talking about that the last time, that at the top of the screen on your calculator, there's got to be a D. There can't be an R or a G. That's good thinking, Cetle. Just check that every time before you do, you put 5 over 2. Okay, Nana, well, that explains that. Yeah, just make sure the degrees button is on and then you just swapped it around. Okay. Okay, so Cetle, you said 5 over 2 as well. Okay, so tan theta is opposite over adjacent. Don't worry, Nana, you're getting used to this. You are going to make mistakes. I make mistakes. Look at me here. There I wrote the M instead of writing 8. So everybody makes mistakes. We all do. It doesn't matter. We're here to learn. Okay, you are going to get this right. You just need to practice. It's easy for teachers because they've just had lots of practice. For you guys, this is still new. So the more you get used to it, the easier it's going to be. Okay, so now, indeed it does, Phoebe. Indeed it does. It's like anything. If you want to become good at anything, whether it's a sport, whether it's playing the piano, anything, cooking, baking, anything, sewing, whatever you like doing, you have to practice.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am, can we please go back up? The one,
Sure.
well, the one in the middle, ma'am.
Yes.
The final angle answer, isn't it supposed to be 62,41?
It is. So yeah, there was just I don't know if you remember me saying, Sam, you obviously missed that bit. But yes, we were talking about the rounding there. You're quite right. It was supposed to be rounded to 62,41.
Thank you.
Okay, this over here. Absolutely. So
Yes.
theta was supposed to be 62,41. Quite right. Okay, so yes, very important that you round correctly to 2 decimal places. Sorry, I should have actually written that in there and rubbed that one off. That was silly of me not to do that. Okay, so how are you guys feeling? Are you feeling strong? Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling a little bit more confident? You can give me some emojis or talk to me. Getting there. David says he's happy. Okay, getting there is good. It's progress. Optimistic, more confident. Jared says thumbs up. Inlefatsa's got a nice big smile. Cool, guys. Thanks. So now you, lovely Sinantlanta, a bit more confident. Oh, confident for once in my life. Shame, Katlego. I know maths can be a real confidence killer, can't it? Okay, so now, are we ready? Okay, maybe this one's, I don't want to kill your confidence. No, see, so good. I wanted to do something that was a little bit more difficult with you.
Lee?
Okay. Yes.
Hi, sorry. I'm just
No.
looking at time. Is there
Yes.
still time for
Probably
them to do
not.
another one?
Probably not to do a particularly difficult one. Yes, sorry, I get so caught up.
No problem.
Yeah, you're quite right. Hang on a second. Let's just have a look. I'm so glad, Sihle. All right, well, I tell you what, unfortunately, Elzan and I have to go to the grade 7s after this. So let's do this question and then let's leave it there. All right. So here, the angle that we want to calculate is called alpha. All right. So that's the angle that you want to calculate. Because you actually know the length of all 3 sides, it's your choice which ratio you want to use. Okay, so calculate the size of alpha, and then unfortunately we'll have to call it a day there. Done. Cool, Phoebe. Alpha, it's just the name of an angle. So an angle can be called alpha, or it can be called theta, or it can be called x, or it can be called beta. These are just the Greek symbols. All right, so it's just a letter from the Greek alphabet to represent an unknown. Don't be intimidated by it, Katlejo. Yes, it is. It's opposite, yeah. Quite right. 4 is opposite. Okay, David's done. Good job. Harrickson's done. Nice. Okay, so what did you use, Harrickson? Did you use sine or cos or tan? You used sine. Okay. Katlejo in this one, because all the sides are there, it doesn't matter which ratio you use. Okay, so Harrickson says he used sine alpha. So if you used sine alpha, any one of them, in this case, any one of them will actually work. You've just got to put the right numbers together. So if you do sine alpha, like Harrickson, then you've got to say opposite over, indeed, hypotenuse. Quite right. Did somebody use cos alpha? Did anybody choose to use cos alpha? Me. Okay, David. So what numbers did you use then? For cos alpha, we would have to use. Cool, Jared. So what numbers did you guys use?
Three over 5.
Indeed. So you said 3/5. Brilliant. Anybody do tan alpha? Cool, Nzole. What did you use for tan alpha? Indeed. See, look how clever you are. All right, so all of you are correct. Now, every single one of you, it doesn't matter which one of those ratios you used, you're all going to get the same answer because you've used it in the correct way. With sine alpha, you've used opposite over hypotenuse. With cos alpha, you've used adjacent over hypotenuse. With tan alpha, you've used opposite over adjacent. There we go. Indeed. 53,13. You guys are amazing. Well done. Well done, well done, well done. Okay, now, unfortunately, I'm going to have to go and I'm going to leave you with Alzan because I've got to get to the grade 7 lesson, but then I'll see you again on perfect. Nana, that's 100%. Well done, and Fafatso and everybody else and Phoebe. Okay, I've got to go now. All right, so I'll hand you over to Alzan and then I'll see you next Tuesday and we'll carry on with Trig. It's a pleasure, Jared. Pleasure, Nana. Have a wonderful weekend, grade 10s. I look forward to seeing you again, okay? Take care. Bye.
Bye, Lee. See you just now.
Bye. See you just now. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello, guys. So I'm sure that some of you have met me before, either through the phone or maybe on one of our exciting Maths Anxiety Mentor workshops. So for those who haven't seen me yet, hi, I'm Alzan. It's lovely to meet you all, and I really hope that you enjoyed your lesson today with Lee. I'm just quickly going to take you through what you've done today. So well done. You've completed your 4th lesson. Can you believe it? I want you all to give yourself a hand clap. Well done for staying committed and for being here. And then next week, Tuesday, you will be doing, I don't know if I can say this, Cartesian plane. I hope I'm saying this right. Feel free to tell me if I'm wrong. Yes, thank you, Samu. And then before we do that, I'm sure you guys know that there's some homework. So what you can do is you can go onto your Watobi app, and then in the topics bar, you will see that there's trigonometry. And as you go into trigonometry, your next lesson is under solution of triangles, finding the size of a missing angle. Okay, so you can take notes, jot that down. Thank you, Sishle. Have a great evening too. Okay, and you guys can give me a thumbs up if you have written this down. Are you guys good? Awesome. Thank you, David. Samu, Jared. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing. I just want to thank you all for being here today. All the best with the rest of your maths classes, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Cheers, guys. See you again on Tuesday. Bye-bye. Take care. Bye, David. Bye, Sishle. See you tomorrow. Bye, Nana. Take care, guys.